first in the cubby to the left. Invite us over? That sounds phenomenal. I had leftovers.
Well, they were leftovers, but they were so good.
I think they love it. I hear you.
Am I on? There we go.
Oh, there you go.
That sounds better. All right, thanks, Dylan. Okay, it is 6 o'clock, and so at this time, I'd like to start our March board meeting of the McBain Public School. At this time, if we all could stand and say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. This time I would take any amendments to the agenda, if we have any.
Just to update the board, I did make a couple of changes to the agenda that was in the original packet. I have added letter B under number 4, which is to approve the closed session minutes from the February 14th regular board meeting. And then also under 6, the action items, I did split up the original letter A into 2 separate motions. I think it just makes it a little more explainable, understandable.
Okay, anybody else have anything else they would like to add to our agenda? Do I have a motion to accept tonight?
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, it is time for public comment. Don't believe we're going to have any tonight, at least at this point, so we'll move on to routine matters. We have to approve open session minutes from our February 14 regular board meeting. I hope everybody's had time to look them over.
Sorry, the closed session.
No, okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Supported.
We have motion and support to approve our February 14 minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? B, approve closed session minutes from our February 14, 2022 regular board meeting.
Motion. Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Treasurer's report.
Sure. Food service balance sheet. We started February 1st with a $352,790.67, ending in February 28th at $395,719.13. General fund. Starting February 1st, we had a balance of $1,410,723.57, with an ending balance of $2,191,163.37. I'd also like to note that you see a transfer to capital projects account of $93,564. Mr. Stahl, you had asked last month if that was what number of transfers it was. This is our second transfer. We're getting ready to do our third.
And there'll be 3, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Support. Motion and support. Are there any more discussion or questions for Mr. Aiken? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Reports and communications. I don't have a lot. The only thing I will just make a little short note as we.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I didn't notice earlier, I apologize, but the consider general
Invoice approvals or?
fund for payment, the line item in the routine matters is missing.
I apologize for that. I didn't notice that either. Sorry, Mr. Klein.
No worries.
You want to do that now?
I would love to. Thanks for asking.
Okay,
All right, I would like to make a motion to pay from the general fund checks 16351 through 16375 and checks 73142 through 73234 for a total of $576,995.30. And from food services, checks 161278 through 161290 for $34,295.30.
Support.
motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pat, opposed? Thank you, Matt. Reports and communications, I was just going to say, as we got ready to start this meeting, we were all talking about how everybody's going away this next week, and I just hope that everything goes well for everybody wherever they may be traveling, and hope we all make it back safe. Superintendent.
Sure. Any questions for my report? A few highlights for you. We did look at, did a survey with the staff regarding virtual learning to see if we had another weather day, if we wanted to try a virtual learning approach. The rules on that have changed with the pupil accounting manual this year. So you have to have every student in attendance, 75% of your students in class from 8 o'clock until 3 o'clock. Can't do the half-day things that we did the previous years. It was pretty overwhelming response that they didn't feel like that they would have that attendance or that it would be, they would be prepared for good instruction. Had some nice comments on there that, you know, the virtual instruction, although it works, they felt like the instruction was much better in person, and they would rather make up days than do that. So currently, right now, the last day of school is Wednesday, June 8th. That will be 2 half days, the 7th and 8th. That would be exam days for the high school. Went down to Ferris State University last week, as Mr. Mead did previously at Cornerstone, did some mock interviews with some student teachers, teachers getting ready to graduate, just trying to build relationships with programs so that will benefit them, but also benefit McBain schools in finding good quality staff. Mr. Eisinger, you had asked me a little bit about lobby furniture. We've been talking about lobby furniture outside the auditorium here. Actually, Mr. Biller mentioned that to me, that would be a nice addition for the lobby area. PTO has offered to pay for the furniture up to a certain amount. We have ordered the tabletops, and Dylan's ordered the table legs, that we have that. Right now, we're working kind of on a soft furniture or soft set couch and chairs and stuff for kids and families when they're waiting for practices to get done to sit in, as well as stools. Furniture is quite pricey right now, so we're trying to find something that looks nice, works, but will benefit the district too. That's about all I had for highlights. Thank you to the board for being willing to reschedule this meeting for this night to go watch and cheer on our boys at regionals. It was a hard-fought contest.
Yes. Any more questions for Mr. Regan? Principals, who would like to start?
Never turns on when I'm ready. I would love to start. I don't have a ton to share with you, as evidenced in my board report. February, I think we were only here for like 10 instructional days. March has been much better, thankfully, but we are in the middle of reading month, so that's been good fun. We've got several different things going on for that. I do believe that Mr. Acom gave you a copy of our NWA data. This data in front of you shows the percentage of, I gave you the number and then the percentage of students who were at the 50th percentile or higher in the fall with respect to each test that we give, and then the winter. And so if you look from fall to winter, and I didn't indicate that out for you, like whether there was growth or not. But there are some highlights in there for sure where we see groups of students who moved to or above the 50th percentile, and there's some grade levels and subject areas where we lost a little bit. That can be typical in the winter. That's if you were to average out the last 5 years of NWA results, you will see some drop in the winter testing. But we did talk about at our February PD some of the things that we were going to do to address that, and I highlighted some of those things in my board report with respect to our data dig and some intervention things that we're putting in place. So that's really all I have for you on this March evening. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you.
Well, I had my board report also. The one update I've got for you is I wanted to give a shout out to Becky, who came to our Rambler time this morning. We did a really deep dive into some special education laws and how that impacts suspensions with students with disabilities. And the staff was very receptive to that. And then we also talked about multi-tiered systems of support and directions we'd like to see the district go, and just talked about past practices. It was really a very profitable time for all of us. And so thank you to Mrs. Rodenbach for helping out with that. And then as David shared as well, I've got, I believe in your report, our 50th percentile. It's just, again, if you picture a giant race of all the kids in America running in a straight line, and there is movement from fall to spring, or from fall to winter in this case. And so for the middle school, we did see some drops with our reading scores from fall to winter. We are expecting to recoup that by spring. And it doesn't mean that our kids aren't growing, it just means that other kids might have been growing faster than them at that same time period. Math was about an even split. We had our 7th grade kids who pushed ahead, which is pretty amazing because you already have 59% of them are above average. That's now 66% of them are above average. A little bit of a drop with the 8th grade, and then the 6th graders held steady where they were. There was no change. Which again, that doesn't mean they're not growing, it just means that they're growing at a steady rate. And then science was really exciting, especially for those 7th graders, to go from 73% of our kids are above average to pushing that to 74%. That's pretty impressive. And the 8th graders as well. So science is a strong point for us right now. Any questions I can answer? Okay.
Thank you.
I have printouts of mine, 50th percentile. Mr. Acom, did you give them all right? Awesome. All right. Too many things happening through the day. We got to check on everything. Good evening, everyone. Hey, you've got my board report. It's a couple weeks old because we moved our meeting. But again, I just want to highlight our fall sports programs that finished so well. And you know, it's not a lot sometimes how you start, it's how you finish, and improvement is what we're going for, not only on academics, but also our sports programs. I'm just very proud of Mr. Kopen and Mr. Bronkema and what they've done with their high school girls and boys programs. And enough cannot be said for those guys. They put a lot of time and effort, and their coaching staff as well. We did have a new thing this year with our foundation that we did. So I'll kind of summarize it. There's a few bullet points in my update, but really, we had some foundation members come and just intermix and talk to our seniors. They bought them pizza and breadsticks and all sorts of stuff that will get them there. And they decided, they talk with them about how important education is, however it may look, whether it be a 4-year, 2-year institution or an associate's degree or some sort of a certification. And we're encouraging our students to fill out an application for our McBain Rural Agricultural School Foundation Scholarship Program. And we have over, close to $70,000, I believe, between $70,000 and $80,000 to give away to our seniors again this year. Our foundation is looking to award to them. And the more that turn it in, the more we can probably look to find some of that money for. So we're encouraging them, and they want to encourage as many seniors as possible. We do have a little lower of a number of students who are graduating this year, so that'll play a little bit of a role into that. Some of our students, I think, have planned on doing that. I know Mrs. Podset has received a few more, and a lot of our kids, I think, just sometimes it's hard to leave their hands to get it to us because they're so unsure that it would be, good or perfect or what they are looking for. So they're a little unsure. So we're finding more reasons to encourage them and find ways during the school day to maybe help them, encourage them to turn those things in so we can get some money for them. A lot of thanks to Mr. Jerry Herkwater and Carol Rademacher for helping out with the pizzas. Brag on a couple of our kids in the CTC program. Caleb Camphouse competed in shield arc welding, and I believe he got a little bit of money for that for scholarship as well, but very proud of him on that. And also Cassidy Westhorpe and, Okay, you hate it when you hit this thing and it disappears on you. Carrie Hamilton. So Carrie Hamilton and Cassidy Westhorpe completed their CNA program, very proud of them, and certifications, and they could walk right in and help right now if they wanted to, or pursue their further education. So just real proud of all the things that the kids, and I told the staff today during our Rambler time, all the things that we are just so thankful that we were able to do this school year, and the number of things and ways that we interact with our students and give them more than just an education. We give them all sorts of programs, activities, things that spark their mind, and we want to continue to give them experiences that will guide them and shape them into what people they would like to be after graduation and what track of education they would potentially want to follow. So just real proud of everybody stepping up and helping out and those sorts of things. That's pretty much it. Very thankful that Melanie Schmidt, our new social worker, is in the house, and she's been diving right in, getting to know our kids. It's always so difficult when you start new during the middle part of the year. So to make relationships with kids, you got to spend time. And so she is doing that right now, and we're glad to have her on board. So I put a bunch of dates in the end of my, so just you can put them in your calendars just for some things to look out for in the coming months. And looking forward to, again, a good spring break, good break, and then back to our seniors getting graduated. So, any questions? I know I didn't talk about the 50th percentile piece. If you have those copies there, again, we're learning how to do this in the high school, and you'll notice that there's a few more students who are registered for their taking the algebra test in the fall. And we broke those apart by grade levels because subject matter test, because grade levels don't apply in the high school. We have multiple students of different grades taking the subject matter test. But we don't have a test right now that tests our seniors. That is a subject matter test. That is NWEA. When our students are completed with their algebra, geometry, algebra 2, most of our seniors go on to senior English, which is personal finance. So our teachers are learning that we may have to find something else to do for our personal finance kiddos or our senior English or senior math class because we don't have a subject matter test that's normed to NWA that would be that. So the first three, though, we have plenty of students there taking that. So we're trying to see which grade level should take what tests, and if they've taken all three, which one do you do? So.
So these will be repeated in May, is that
Correct.
right?
Yeah, just like everyone else. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll be able to see really the growth. And Mr. Mead said it correctly. It's about that mark. They're compared in the wintertime with like peers, and so they may or may not be growing as fast as some of those you can't really see by a kid. So. But I'm really impressed with the 70th percentile there for our freshmen. I do want to point that out. That's a good mark.
Yeah.
And kudos to the middle school for giving them to us that way.
Right. Any more questions for Mr. Biller? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to move on to our action items. Action item A, I need a motion to approve the resolution to call the election for the 18 mil non-homestead renewal, August 2, 2022. Do you want to explain this a little bit further, Scott?
Yeah, this would be the non-homestead 18 mil renewal. This is what schools have to do across the state of Michigan when Proposal A passed back in the early 90s. This is how we receive our full funding from the state for our per pupil allotment. It generates about $1.5 million for the district. And as I said, every school in the state of Michigan has to do this. Not on your homes, but on your businesses, second properties. Most agriculture is also excluded.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve that resolution.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Action item B, approve election.
This is just the ballot language that will go on the ballot on August 2nd. It was in the resolution in the board packet.
Okay.
We have a motion.
Support. Motion and support. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Action item C is to accept the resignation of Michelle Hill, middle school teacher.
Motion.
Support. Motion and support. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Action item D, first reading Neola policies 36-2, PO 1616, staff dress and grooming, PO 5511, dress and grooming, grant funds PO 6114, cost principal spending federal funds PO 6325, procurement federal grant funds. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Support. Motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Action item E, accept the retirement letter of Lisa Copeman.
Make a motion, we accept that with much regret.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion or maybe some questions on this and how this is going to work?
Yep, so Mrs. Copeman, as much as I've tried to talk her into not retiring, has decided to retire. Not taking it a reflection upon my, no, she has decided to retire and she has really big shoes to fill. She's going to be greatly missed. I've really enjoyed working with her and learning from her. But we decided, we knew that this was coming and the board decided, I believe it was last month, that we would go with the ISD's business services and they would help us out. With that, they were over, I think last month, a few weeks ago, starting the transition process and starting the conversation with Lisa. So it's going to be a learning curve for us, but I know that it's going to be feasible and affordable for us to do.
We have a motion and support. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Action item F is to accept the resignation letter of Ezekiel Pena. In other words, Zeke.
Motion.
Support.
We have motion and support. Do we have any further discussion or questions?
It's going to be really sad to see Zeke go as well, but he was able to, came across an opportunity that would better him and his family, so we fully support that.
Motion and support. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Action item G is to accept the hire recommendation of Taylor Schoner.
Motion.
Support. Motion and support. Taylor is one of our graduates here a few years ago.
Yep, and she's graduating from Indiana Wesleyan University with her degree in special education. So we're excited to have her come aboard. She'll be joining us next year, and we'll be helping with our increasing special education population. I didn't know Taylor when she was in school, but very bright and capable young lady. I was probably top 5 interviews that I've ever interviewed, and it was virtual. She just knocked it out of the park, and we're really excited to have her come and join the Rambler family again.
Okay. Motion and support. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations to Taylor. Action item H, approve weight room equipment quote for $32,813.
Motion.
Support. We have a motion and support. Do we have any questions or discussion?
I would just add that, this is something that we're trying to figure out the age of the weight room equipment in there now. It's getting pretty bad, as well as the space. These new racks from Rogers Athletics, which is actually out of Farwell Clare area, they serve all the big, Michigan State, Michigan, a lot of other schools in our area. It's going to create more space for our kids. 4 kids can be working out at one time. If you've been in here during the school day, we have kids in the lobby area with dumbbells and different things to help with space. We have 2 physical or life fitness classes that are very popular. We're looking at maybe adding a 3rd one next year because of the increase in students wanting to take it, but also our athletic teams that are in there. It's becoming a pretty big thing. The other thing I'd like to note about this weight equipment is I know on the last bond proposal that had weight stuff and expansion of the weight room in there. If that was to happen again, this is stuff that can be moved into a different area, a different location. And it will last us a lot of years with it being taken care of.
I think a lot of kids are going to be very excited. I've heard it's in desperate need.
Is it something, Scott, if we add on as far as like the bond and it looks at a bigger weight area, is it something that we can easily like add 1 or 2 more pieces of equipment that easily adds onto it? So it's not like we're spending $30-some thousand now and in a few years,
Yeah, we
wouldn't
wouldn't necessarily be able to add onto those racks, but we'd be able to add additional equipment.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
We also discussed painting the weight room at the same time, didn't we?
Yes. I didn't remember that. Painting it, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, and cleaning it up a little bit. We'd be able to do that with our own staff over the summer.
I just happened to, I don't know if this is pertinent or not, but I happened to notice in your report that there was free shipping, but there's shipping in here. Do you know what?
Yeah, so the free shipping is the racks themselves. They have to order their dumbbells and those have to be shipped. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's gonna, he offered to bring up a trailer from his, and trailer it up for us as long as our boys can unload, or boys and girls can unload. So doing that. So, but the shipping on that is for the dumbbells.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice question.
Okay, we have a motion and we have support. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Action item I is to approve the 2022-2023 school calendar.
Motion.
Support.
Motion and support. Is there any questions on next year's calendar?
If I could just add that the first day of school for students would be August 23rd. Teachers would be August 15th. And then the last day for students would be Thursday, June 1st.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, at this time, it is time for public comment. I don't believe there's anybody here that wants to speak, so I guess we'll move on. Time for the board roundtable. If anybody up here has anything they just want to add to tonight's meeting or any activities going on at school?
Could I add one thing?
Yep.
So Mr. Biller had mentioned the McBain Foundation. Their auction is scheduled for Saturday, April 16th at 6 o'clock, right here in the school. That's the Saturday before Easter. And that's where they raise a good portion of money that they give back to our kids. So put that on your calendars, Saturday, April 16th at 6 o'clock. Bring some money too, because rumor has it some pies go for a lot of money.
I just got one thing, Scott. I stopped in here last week at lunch hour, seen you watching the door. Is that typical? You're there every day?
I try to be. We help each other out when we got things going on.
Is that something that if we budgeted for that school officer, that was
That would be something that they would be able to do.
That would be a better use of your time, not to have to.
I enjoy conversing with the kids too.
Yeah, I know. Not just saying Scott, but I'm saying you guys as well.
Everybody,
I mean,
Mrs. Rodenbaugh goes out to recess on nice days, but
She's a smart one.
no, the middle school, Marcus does a lot with 8th grade lunch, and Mr. Wisner and Mrs. Rodenbaugh do cover recesses quite a bit as well.
I happened to be in the building one day when Scott was guarding the door, and he gets quite a bit from students. I think they enjoy it, and talking to him, being available, as well as the staff.
You can learn a lot.
I appreciate that you're there, and you as well.
Thank you.
A motion, we adjourn.
If there's no more roundtable discussion, then I guess we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion and support to adjourn. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Adjournment.
Yeah.
Fishing.